into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome back to another after show for Supergirl. It is season 1, episode 6 already. I can't believe it.
Me either.
Called Red Face. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, but thanks for joining us back here tonight. I'm one of your hosts, JJ Jurgens, and you can follow me at JJ Jurgens on Twitter. And I'm joined tonight by...
Hey guys, it's Nicole Brajer. You can follow me all over social media with that at Nicole Brajer.
And you can follow me everywhere at Stephanie Wenger.
And you can find me, I'm Tauri Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's Taurijay.
Awesome. Well, another fun episode. We see a lot of new developments here. Let's start out by talking about, we have a lot of parent issues in this episode.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Right? I think everybody can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's start out by talking about Lucy's dad, General Sam Lane. Quite the guy, huh?
Explains why she's such a bitch.
Oh,
Sorry.
all right.
She
straight
gave
out
me-
the gate.
She just rubbed me the wrong way this episode.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, an uber intense guy, you kind of see why maybe she's as intense, but you said it the right way.
Not that I like jerks, but I kind of like that he was such a jerk. Mostly because he's the first military person who is super duper militaristic. Like we have all the DEO people who are agents, but they're kind of they're really laid back about stuff. Whereas he's like, hey, these are threats, and I'm in the military, and I'm kind of, So I like that aspect of his character. But yeah, I agree. It really explains her character.
It's kind of funny because it's I believe in aliens, today. Realistically, I do think there are UFOs and aliens amongst us. And I think our government covers it up. Call me a conspiracy theorist, if you will. But, it's funny to see in this, aliens do exist. So how did, the government reacts to it? It's kind of would that be how they were if, they actually were walking among us today?
Right.
Interesting.
That's something to ponder.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would be trying to, study them and figure out ways that we could use their skills and their talent, everything that they're doing in this episode.
Yeah.
I love seeing this actor. I might slaughter his last name, but Glenmore Shower, right? I've loved him since the 24 Days, so I was actually excited to see him. I mean, I hated his character just by the thing things that he said.
Which means he did a good job.
Right, exactly. He did what he was supposed to do. Because I just wanted to slap him for Jimmy, but I think he was a good addition to this.
It made me want to slap Jimmy and be like, why do you want to be with somebody whose dad hates you so much?
Well, I will say, and I was see what you guys thought about, for me, definitely a total red flag. If I was on a date with a guy and all of a sudden his mom, I'm holding hands with him, and all of a sudden his mom came in and cut in and started holding hands and walk off, I might be time out, deal breaker.
On to the next one.
That's a huge, she's pretty old for that kind of
Exactly.
It was interesting because it kind of showed where her alliance was versus where his alliance was, because I felt she totally was I'll grab my dad's hand, and he was trying to protect her, so Jimmy was trying to protect her, and it just felt a little strange, a mismatch in a lot of ways.
Right. I personally, I feel like a relationship can deal with a really rough parent, mostly because they live somewhere else. But I feel though, I will say that the things that he was saying were very harsh. And it, I think that I would take a few days to kind of process that, because it's a thing that you have to live with, because you'll never ever live up to their standards. And once you get married, they're a part of your family now, and you're just gonna have to deal with that for the rest of your life, essentially. So that makes it real rough. It's not like he's just being a jerk to be a jerk. It's that he will never ever accept you.
Exactly. And when they were talking without Lucy being there, and the dad was saying that you know, you can't be special by association. Like, what a terrible thing to say. Like, that it just felt so awful. Like, if you heard that in real life, how terrible would that be?
Yeah. That I felt bad for him in that section of this episode because he is special. I think without him, these heroes wouldn't be heroes, you know? They wouldn't be who they are. And then he called him like a fancy paparazzi or something like that, which I take personally because I work at TMZ. So there is such a thing as professional paparazzis. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that Jimmy is special, so that kind of cut me deep too. I felt for him there.
Yeah. And it's also kind of hypocritical because his daughter is a reporter. It's like they work hand in hand, photographers and reporters. So for him to be like, "Oh, you're garbage just because you're a photographer," is super unfair. Super unfair.
Agree.
Keyword super.
Yeah.
Well, I like that at least in the end that, you know, Lucy does stand up for him. So I like that because now, you know, I'm kind of torn. Like now I'm kind of rooting towards a win and Kara. So I kind of like Jimmy to be occupied with Lucy. So I want their relationship to go on a little longer.
I still love the love triangle, if you will, but I am starting to realize Wynn might be the better option for her. Like, Jimmy's kind of the bad boy who she wants to be with, where Wynn is like the good guy.
He just keeps making these faces at the end of every scene, and I even said it to you guys. I'm like, what? Just do something. Why do you keep making this like hush puppy face? I'm over it. I'm totally over it.
Well, it's like he chose Lucy, and somewhere in the back of his mind, he wants to be with Kara.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like. That's what the face is. But it's just like he's not doing a good job of expressing it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree because he did keep making him, even during game night when, I think the time when you said that Lucy was such a bitch, which I had written down too.
See you next Thursday. She's more like that.
Well, when she said, I'm not impressed. It's like when you see your favorite movie star in person.
I know.
And, you know,
I'm surprised, and she's so smart. She didn't pick up on the whole cousin thing. And Wynn didn't really play it off very well either.
Right.
Yeah. But even during that, like, it kind of the audio went out when she was talking, and you see Jimmy just like focusing on her too. So it was another moment where it's like he's got these feelings for her, but
and I don't know when they're gonna break out. Like, do you think by the end of the season at least?
Like, give it a try, their relationship?
Like, just, maybe he'll... Because I thought when they were going tit for tat with their anger on the punching bag and the car, that maybe they were gonna tell each other that they loved each other. And
Or some moment.
Yeah.
Have a moment there, and they totally didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost did.
Yeah, she got really close to telling him.
Yeah.
But her deeper feelings were...
There's more anger than just...
Yeah.
Him and Lucy. There's way more, I think, even for her to deal with emotionally for herself, like any woman, before we get into it with a man, you know, and be honest with our men.
Yeah.
We have to be honest with
You
ourselves.
have to love yourself.
We do.
Which we see her kind of diving into in this episode because of we see more of her with Kat because of Kat dealing with the other parent that is in town. We get introduced to Kat's mom.
Oh my God. Who was that actress? Did we Google that?
Oh,
I do not have her.
I'll Google it. Let's just talk about it.
But she was so awful to her. It reminded me of Sheldon's mother, or not? Is it Sheldon's mother or Leonard's mother on Big Bang Theory? It was just this awful. Like, everything she did was so terrible. I just couldn't deal with it. Yeah.
I will say that, like, and this is a nod to the actress in that, like, she really managed to kind of mirror Kat's mannerisms, so you can tell like where that character got her essence from. And so to have her come in only like 6 episodes in and be able to kind of mirror that and really emulate it to the point where it seems like it's the origin is really well done.
But don't you feel like Kat has such a good heart? It's somewhere deep down. Kat has like a good heart, and the mother we didn't see a good-heartedness.
Yes.
At least in this episode.
Not even a smidge.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think essentially makes Kat's character really complex, is that she is trying to fight not being her mother. And so you see, especially in this episode, you see those two sides of her, where you see her when she's taking it out on Kara, that that her mother comes out at that point, but you see her while they're getting drinks, you see the other side to where she's trying to be better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It was also just like a strange side note was her mother kept calling her Kitty, and it was so distracting to me. If you watched How I Brothers and Sisters, her name on the show was Kitty, Melissa Flockhart, and I was just like, this is so weird. Kitty, it makes sense, but it just was really distracting.
Throwing you into the other.
Yeah. It's just like a really distracting thing for me personally.
Her name is Joan Juliet Buck, by the way, the mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Joan. Hope you're watching.
I like what she really did is she pushed Kat to such a level too that we see her just like leaving work and going and having drinks. So I thought it was fun to see another side.
That's
of her
the same way I get with my mother too. I love that she's like, you're not gonna have this one, great, and she's on like number 5. Made me want a dirty martini real bad after this. But most of us just react like that to our moms. Just depends how they rub you. But she didn't even have one nice bone in her body to me, and I want to find out more because I loved meeting Kat's son, now the mom, and then it's starting to have us understand why Kat's the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes me wonder why the mother is the way she is, though. Will we ever get like the mother's backstory?
Have we heard of the dad backstory?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a lot more that we need to know in order to get like a full picture of Kat.
I think we will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we will.
Yeah, they seem to keep sprinkling stuff at us, which I like. It's fun. New surprises each week.
Yeah.
So, well, should we dive into we have I guess more of game night, which we started to talk about a little bit, but we see clearly that Lucy and James have quite a history and a connection, which is really tough for Cara to watch.
Like, I don't like it at all. I don't like this relationship. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm not for it. I don't believe it. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Well, I mean, I feel like we all, and this is how it's written in that it's made to where we don't like her, but if we put the Cara portion aside, I mean, they'd be a good couple. Like, I think that if our main character wasn't in love with James, then I think we'd be rooting for them because they get along well, they have a history, they are really cute together. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
If she wasn't standing in the way of our main heroine, I think that they would be a great team.
It's interesting because I feel like if it was a different show, if it was like the Lucy show in some capacity, I'd be all about this couple. It just is because we have like Supergirl that I'm annoyed with this, and I'm like, how can you go and have so much PDA at her game night?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it shouldn't be that, like, that should not be my reaction. That wasn't that crazy. But
She wasn't even invited.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like my high school voice 100% came out on that. Like, come on, how could she do that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I totally agree with you. It does make the PDA on the couch seems obnoxious, especially when I think Jimmy knew that there was, that there was kind of how she feels about him, or
I was
kind of
wondering-
senses,
I was wondering if he was trying to hide his true feelings, though. Like, he was showing all this PDA because he somewhere deep down knows he has feelings for Supergirl, and then was like hiding it with all this PDA. I don't know.
I think eventually Lucy will find out that Cara is Supergirl.
You think, is she going to be the first one to know? Do you think?
I don't know. I feel like she's going to find out, and it might break them up, James and Lucy. I mean, maybe. But do you think? What do you think?
Well, here's my question. I was going to point this to you tonight because I watched, Jenna Dewan was on The Talk today, and she was kind of talking about, they had brought up the fact that Lucy's character ends up being Superwoman. So do you think that we'll get to see any of that by the end of this season, or that somehow these two might, because now she's not working with the general anymore. She just gave up her job, and then James did say, "You're my hero," which I caught that little line.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Okay.
do you think they might go there for us, or?
Well,
That would be really interesting. I hadn't even thought about it.
I hadn't either till I heard her interview today, and then I was
want
like,
to take the spotlight off
wait a second.
Supergirl.
Well, that was my question. Would they do that, or would that be like a season 2 thing,
Hopefully.
or since they are all about building this female empowerment, would that be something that we might see happen by the end of this?
I mean,
I don't know. Let us know what you guys think too.
Yeah, I feel like it would be, to me right now, I feel like for the sake of doing the character justice, I would want it to be a season 2 thing. But since the conflict now is that she essentially can't measure up to Lucy in James's eye, having Lucy become Superwoman at this point in this season would be perfect, because essentially the only thing that she has on her is that she's she's Supergirl. But then if she is matched on both fronts, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it kind of
interesting.
Want season 2 to be like Supergirl versus Superwoman. Like, you know how Gotham has like different titles for all their seasons?
Yeah.
It would be interesting to have it have like essentially a secondary title with the Supergirl. I don't know if that's what like CBS is aiming for.
So she's not going anywhere.
It didn't sound like it to me, but I don't know. It was just a snippet, and I wanted more. I was like, but she did a good job, because I was like, wait, because then they went on to the next guest afterwards. I'm like, no, come back. I want some more questions for her.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see now that they, got picked up today.
Yeah,
But they,
good.
We've
We've got 20 episodes in this season, so we're excited.
So excited. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, that probably should have been later on in predictions, but as we were on it, talking about what might happen with her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Felt right.
All right, something else that's feeling a little kind of right. What about Alex and Maxwell? We talked about them last week, wondering. Yeah, I mean.
I'm for this relationship. Like, this is cool, because it's very unpredictable. Right now,
they have
to me.
a lot of push and pull in that relationship right now. Like, you last week saw them super flirty. This week he's pushing her away, and I think that's what we're gonna see for the next foreseeable future. I don't know how long it'll go for, but at some point I think they'll get together. It's just right now it's like this flirty push and pull.
Yeah, I'd agree. Though I'm still on the fence whether I actually want them to get together.
Yeah.
Because ultimately he is a bad guy, and they're always going to be on the opposite sides. And though I love a whole Romeo Juliet-y star-crossed lovers thing, I think that Alex is too smart to get involved with him. I mean, maybe they'll have like a moment of passion, but I don't think they'll ever have like a long-term relationship, because he's made himself an adversary of her sister. So I feel like
that's where I'm left like a little confused, because but I feel like in this episode she kind of like had his back. Like, obviously she always has Kara's back, but she was like, well, Max said this, you know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know, but even the smartest of girls go for the bad guy story. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how smart you are. Sometimes you like that bad boy to like, oh, but no. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah. I know.
I'm with you. I'm torn.
I've seen Grease.
I'm with you, though. I'm torn, too. And I know one of our listeners last week wrote, too, like, how can you guys even root for that? He, like, put, a dad's sick child, like, used the kid. And it was true. Like, because you get tied into their chemistry, I think the two actors have great chemistry. Yeah. And they look great together. And you just you find yourself just, like, kind of rooting to it. Yeah. You're like, I can see this. I want to see this. But, yeah, then it is hard, because then you backtrack and are like, no, he's a bad guy. Like, we should not want this.
When you said that the other day on Twitter, and you're like, he's a bad man. Did you see my tweet back?
No,
I said Adam Sandler quotes. Remember? And they're like, you gave the company to Eric? He is a bad man.
And, my dog's named Sandler, so that's probably where that came from.
It. That's awesome. So,
rest in peace, my
dog.
dog.
That's what I meant. Oh.
Yeah.
Sad.
Anyway. I love Sandler. So I thought it was interesting that first she goes to him for help, and then he declines her, but then ultimately he's the one that helps them solve what's going on tonight.
Yeah.
It's such a push and pull, which makes you drawn to it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you want to see what happens with it. If they got together week one and they were kind of like, oh yeah, they're together, you'd be like, why is she with that guy? But having that push and pull makes you come back.
Yeah.
If I just get a kiss out of it, I'm happy.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah,
I did notice he always would call her Agent Danvers, and then at the end he was like, anytime, Alex. I was like, ooh.
First name basis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
picking
a
up
couple
on
weeks
all
we'll
the stops tonight.
I'm watching these guys and these signals they're throwing at our ladies on this show tonight.
Yeah. Getting us all tangled up and tousled.
I know. And it is hot in here again, and now I'm in a sweater. All right, well, let's talk about Red Tornado.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait. what? Why? He was cool. I mean, his backstory was a little different than the comics.
Right.
I'm gonna preface this for you fans that I'm not the biggest Red Tornado fan. So I'll probably mess a lot of this up. But essentially, like, his original backstory is he, pre-Crisis, he was half a scientist who was a villain, Tio Morrow, and then what is the name? Like the Red Champion from another planet, which I'm sure that they purposely kind of let go because it's real complicated. And then later in post-Crisis, his timeline was that he was an elemental created by Maya, which also, again, neglected that one in this one. So, I mean, I like that essentially he was a robot created by this guy who sunk all of his... Like, he sunk his whole life into it, and then it just went out of control. I'm sad that they got rid of him.
That he died.
Yeah, because I was hoping that he would...
I thought Alex was going to die in that scene for a second. I thought she was going to get shot. I did. Then or maybe hurt, maybe not die, but get shot. But I don't know. I'm glad he got shot. He was the scary one to me. But you wanted more of his character to
I wanted more Red Tornado. I don't care about
Dr. Morrow.
Yeah.
What's the T.O. Because it took me to, when I saw it written, I'm like, oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
T.O. Morrow.
Right.
But hearing it, I didn't, it's like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's a very comic booky thing to do, to be like, haha, his initials spelled tomorrow. But I mean, I wanted Red Tornado to be a more, especially when they said that he was sentient. I thought that he was essentially going to trade sides. Like, they'd find a way to make him a hero, because he's a hero. Like, he works with the Justice League, and it's great. So I wanted that, and I didn't want him to be destroyed. I feel like this character, when they were writing it, was originally made to be... There's this android in the comics called a Mazo, who is created, and he fights the Justice League, and he's able to absorb different powers or whatever. And I felt like this role was made for that android, but then they're like, well, Ivo is in the Arrow universe, so we can't use that. So we'll just throw in Red Tornado, which I feel like... is a little bit of a disservice to Red Tornado, but I mean, I'm glad I got to see him in live action.
So she put most of her powers into fighting him this whole episode, because that's why she bleeds at the end, right? Okay, so...
She drained herself.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have him in one more episode.
Yeah.
Just to kind of play off this, like, where her powers went to and stuff like that.
I like the actor. It's Otto Goldberg, and there's a lot of good interviews out there. One's on comicbookresources.com with him talking about how much fun it was to play this role, and that he played Red Tornado and the Doctor, so being able to play dual roles on this show, he was very excited about. And he also had said that this was one of the most epic fight battle scenes he's ever seen.
I was just gonna say it was really great.
Yeah, he said it was on the top of his list on a major movie film type of production. And
I bet he was super excited too, because he got to fight two chicks.
Yeah,
right? That's pretty awesome. So yeah, of course it was the best scene he's ever done. But yeah, no, everybody did a great job, especially the girls and whoever the stunt people were. But I was really happy with that scene.
Yeah, I'm always continually impressed with the show. It comes back week after week, and you feel like you're watching a movie. It doesn't feel like, oh, they kind of half did this stunt scene. There are these huge epic battles every single week, and I don't know how. I mean, their production schedule must be insane, to get
and all
it
the
done.
effects and stuff too, because I know we talked at the beginning, will the effects start dropping off as we get further into the season? And I think each week they've been amazing.
And I wanted to point out in the beginning when they had the scene where they were driving and she saved the soccer team from the crash. I'm pretty sure they shot that at the Bronson Caves. Have you guys ever been to that here in Los Angeles? Because they were totally driving down a parking lot. Did you see all the parking spots next to it? I've literally been by those caves, and it's a huge disclosed park here in Los Angeles that you have to kind of go through Hollywood to get through.
Right.
But I've been to it. I had a picnic there like a month ago, and I'm 90% sure that's where they shot it.
Nice.
You'll have to have another picnic and take some shots.
I know, yeah. Well, I noticed all the parking spots and then all like the caves and like the swing set and stuff. I'm like, I've been there before, so
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments, but I feel like the Bronson Caves were also where the original Batcave was in the like old Adam West Batman show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place is
Oh,
definitely
that's the case.
not.
I have been there.
Yeah.
I've been into on the hike part. I didn't remember the parking lot, but
It goes for a long time. It goes for a couple of like a mile or two probably. So that's why it was probably really easy for them to shoot that scene there. Just a fun fact.
Yeah. Nice.
We'll have to take a field trip there.
Oh my god. We'll periscope it.
Yeah.
awesome. Any more on Red Tornado and then the character or battles, anything?
I will say that I really liked that they brought in the idea of Kara being a danger to people around, because like she's been heralded as this hero up till now, but I mean and they mentioned it a little bit in the first episode, maybe a little bit in the second episode, but I mean she is, especially if she loses her temper, a danger to everyone around her. And I love that, like, they're not shying away from the fact that this hero can also be a villain given the right, circumstances.
Yeah, and she's also very untrained at this point. I mean, she's essentially been doing this for not that long, and so she doesn't really know her powers yet. And I think that that's a really interesting place to be season 1 in the show. By the time you get to season 3 or 4, she should know her powers by then. Right now, she's still figuring it out. Even at the end of the episode, which we'll get to in a second, she was surprised that she could lose her powers. She didn't know that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that she said men go crazy behind the wheel. I was like, I'm pretty crazy behind the wheel. So.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about her losing her power, or what she discovers.
Right, so she obviously cut herself at the end of the episode, and she actually sees blood, and I thought that was a really interesting way to, 1, end an episode, and 2, kind of what I hope happens in the next few weeks is that she starts to realize what it's like to be a regular girl and maybe appreciate the powers a bit more, because all we've seen her for the last few weeks be is really wanting to be normal, and without her powers she's gonna have to be normal, and what that life is versus what her powers are.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't even think about that, but essentially at the end of the episode she got what she wanted, and she's gonna find that it's not actually what her
wants.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. That's great.
Yeah. Tie it all together. One more thing let's talk about in this episode is that Alex had asked Wynn to help her look up what happened to her father. So she got him by revealing that, getting him with the daddy issue.
Yeah, it didn't take Kara and Alex that long to get him to say yes to. Yeah. I thought he was going to hold his ground on that one. I was like, you go, and man, you're a sucker. I thought she knew that, though, you know what I mean? But no, I guess because they jumped from one episode to the other and switched it on us with Thanksgiving and everything, I got a little confused there. But yeah, they were on their way to find out that it was Henshaw. So I'm still a little confused about him and his role in this series, if he's good or bad. Not really sure. Because the story that Wynn told us left us up in the air regardless. We don't know if he was responsible for the death or if he just ran off scared. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, it just gave us another little piece that they were working together and then came back and says doesn't remember anything,
Right.
No scratches, and now has deleted all the files, so.
For a reason.
Yeah. I mean, it feels to me like essentially they both were fighting this alien. The alien killed them and took on Henshaw's form. That would be my assumption.
That's a good one.
Because, I mean, and it would explain why he's all red-eyed all the time. Because you would assume that original Henshaw wasn't an alien. You would assume that he wasn't this, like, super being. So that, to me, makes the most sense. It's like in Men in Black when the bug takes the guy's skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way to think about it.
I'm going back to the flashback, though, when Henshaw was there, when the girls, when they were younger, snuck out and flew out, and then he was like, we need to talk.
Right.
With the dad. So were they working together then? the same at the DEO?
No, that was his first. That was the first time that they were introduced to the DEO, and essentially, Jeremiah. Thank you. Was recruited into it in order to save his daughter.
Okay.
So by this point, when they went off, they had been working together, for them, and went off on this trek in him,
Right.
as partners.
Okay. So maybe I think that alien thing's a good theory for sure. Because I can't think of anything else. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think I just need more information.
Yeah, I do too. It's hard.
Like, I just have, like, a few of the puzzle pieces, and I'm just not sure where it's going yet. So I'm afraid to be like, absolutely. But it makes sense what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense too. I could totally get on board with that. But I'm with you. I want more details because I also feel like he had such kind of attitude when he came to the door to get him to begin with. So I almost feel like there was a motive before he even. I don't know.
Me too. That's why I'm left like, all right, we'll wait it out.
Yeah.
I know I feel like a lot of the fans have their mind set on who he is. Like, who are they all saying that he?
They think he's Cyborg Superman.
Yeah. So, and that's a very good theory, fans. That's, now that I'm thinking about it, that is a good theory. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll be revealed by the mid-season finale. Yeah.
I feel like he needs to stick around, though. Without him, I feel like maybe Alex would take over. Let's just say they killed him off or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, unless he became the next big bad. But I still don't believe that he's completely evil. So that's where, I think that he's going to get revealed, but at the same time, they're going to be like, you've helped us so much, I don't know what to do. And then he'll stay with the team. Or at least that's what I want.
They do a good job of making you guess, because I did notice, like, tonight when he was, when the general was, the general kept being so obnoxious, blaming Supergirl for, I got sick of that tonight. I know that's what he's supposed to do, but it was like, oh man, shut up, you're the one who brought this all on, now he's like so quick to blame it all on her.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, one line he threw out there was like, yeah, it's from the, Kryptonians you're so afraid of and stuff. So I feel like there are times where he throws out things where I feel like he is on their side, and he's not against them.
Yeah.
And he flashes those red evil eyes, and I'm not so sure of him, but we shall see.
Yep. Definitely.
All right. Anything else we missed tonight, guys? Anyone wants to talk about? I think we got all.
We covered a lot.
Yeah.
We covered a lot.
Woo, anti-super robots. More of them. Right, guys?
Love them. Yeah, we were talking about before the episode even started how we all love that there's a new villain each episode. So
it's really exciting, and everybody that they've cast has been great too. Like, they've been really fun, strong, like entertaining villains to watch, I think.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, I like that it's like every week there's something different, and because I think if you had the same villain all season, you would kind of be like, oh, she's still fighting that same villain.
Yeah.
Where this is like a new introduction, and I think hopefully as I've said previously mentioned, not a huge comic book fan, but I think it will please comic book fans because you're getting that introduction to all these characters that you already know. Yeah.
Even if they're reinvented a little bit for the modern era.
Yeah.
Still cool. Gives us non-comic book pros something to work with.
Well, that's even funny. I mean, even the guy, who played him tonight was saying how he was not a comic book fan at all. So getting this role, he felt like the heavy pressure of everybody who knows this world. He's like, I couldn't even begin to study that for this role because it just would take too long, because these people have been watching this stuff, reading this stuff for years and know all the backstory and all the so
hear that, fans?
So be nice to us sometimes.
So we do all of our news and gossip? Or?
Yeah, I think we already, the big news was just that they're picked up for 20 episodes, so
yay!
Full season.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Kaboom!
Do we want to try predictions, or do we kind of...
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do a few more predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Don't start with me.
I feel like Supergirl got so much heat this week between being Kara at work and the way Kat was treating her, to Lucy, to just everyone seemed to be throwing a lot of energy at her, and I hope that by losing her powers, she kind of learns a better way to take it. Like Kat was mentioning, finding an outlet, and I feel like she hasn't really found a way of balancing it all and like having that thing that like, I don't know, gives her energy again. It feels like it's gonna take her a minute to figure out how to balance it all.
Yeah.
It's not a great prediction, but it's what I'm thinking today.
It's good. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up,
Yeah,
right?
predictions are hard.
I will say that I think next episode, Kara will have her powers back by the end of the episode. Last week I said 2 episodes until we find Hank Henshaw, so I think next episode will be the Hank Henshaw reveal, his backstory. Let's see. Ooh, this is gonna be a wild one.
Throwing out the
I like that
wild card.
excitement. I'm ready.
Yeah. Based on those statements, I think that since Kara doesn't have her powers, Hank Henshaw will have to reveal himself in order to save the day, which will open up his story. Okay. That's my prediction.
That's good.
That's a good one.
How do I follow that up?
Oh.
I don't really have any. Maybe just more. We'll see more of Maxwell Lord, and get to decide whether he actually is bad or good and what his intentions are. I'm just trying, because he's another one I'm iffy about. I don't know what will reveal whether he's good or evil, but
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm sure Alex will be, the segue for that, for us to find out. Let's just not get our heart broken.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm curious to see who figures out Supergirl first. There's so many people who seem close to it, and who figures it out and why.
Do we think Kat ever will?
I hope so.
I
think
think
it'll ruin their relationship, though. Kara and Kat.
Yeah.
Because I'm loving this new relationship.
Yeah, I like it too. It's fun. It's entertaining.
It's funny.
Yeah. I think Lucy's going to be the first to figure it out. That's
what I said earlier.
Do you think she's going to figure out that James knew before her, though?
I think, if anything, she'd be pissed to find out that James didn't tell her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I feel like that's how she'll figure it out, is that she realizes James knows who Supergirl is, and then she puts it together, and she'll be very angry at him for not telling her.
It's none of your business, Lucy.
Drama. All right, well, I think that wraps us up for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us again so much. Where can everybody follow you at one more time?
You guys can follow me at Nicole Brajer. That's at Nicole Brajer. I think it's right below me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole 9 yards.
And follow me at Stephanie Wenger.
You can find me at Tauri J. It's TaurijAY.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens and Jurgens JJ on Instagram and at TomGirl.tv. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll see you next week.
Can't wait.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.